discovered the priceless gift that peace and joy can bring 20 years ago this week, when our National Guard unit, Mayor Logan, crossed the berm into the country of Iraq. We were headed into combat. And we were trained, we were ready, we knew what our job was, and we were there to do our job. But it didn't take us long before we discovered what the harsh realities of combat were really like. 3 of our soldiers had been wounded in an RPG attack on one of their convoys, and we knew this is real. It's not training anymore. Have you ever had that moment when you know something is now real? That harsh reality that just sets in and you know this is real. Well, that's where we were at. We were out doing our jobs. One of my jobs was to run a guard post out on a base outside of the base. We were on a large base in central Iraq, a little bit north of Baghdad. And outside of this base, Bob McKenzie, we had this little outpost, which was the first gate of protection before anyone could get to the main base. Our troops were out there training the new Iraqi army that we were trying to stand up to replace the Iraqi army that disappeared after the war started. And our job there was to protect the Americans who were training the Iraqis. Every time a convoy would come out the gate, the vehicles would be coming out, they'd have gunship helicopters go along with them, and we'd see these Iraqis outside of the base. We'd see them pick up their phone and make a phone call, and we knew what was happening. They were saying, hey, convoy's out. Nearly every day, different convoys were being attacked. Different troops were being attacked when they were out on the roads and in the communities. It was harsh. We're hitting Christmas. We got there this week, about a week to 10 days before Christmas. And on Christmas Eve, they had Catholic Christmas Eve Mass. Now, I'd never been to one, but 2 of my buddies invited me to go with them. Luis Armijo, who was this tall teddy bear of a man, and his best friend, Louis Martinez, who was this short teddy bear of a man. They had come to our unit from California. They had been assigned onto my crew. They said, Pat. That's what they called me in the Army. They said, Pat, you come and go to Christmas Eve Mass with us? I said, sure. Went to Mass. An incredible experience. A Catholic chaplain had flown in on a Black Hawk helicopter to conduct this Mass in our little base chapel, which was literally a tin shed, had wooden benches, and above the door there was a wooden cross made out of 2x4s. Well, at the end of the service, Luis Armijo went up to the priest to receive a blessing. And when he came back, he brought me the St. Michael's medal. He said, Pat, I've asked the priest to bless this for you. And I promise you, with your faith and my faith, you're going to make it home to your wife and your 5 little kids. Next day is Christmas morning. Armijo, Martinez, myself, and a few others, we're out on that guard post, and we're doing the same thing we've been doing every day. We're watching what's going on. One of the things we paid really close attention to was there's this large flock of sheep that was kind of across the dirt road. And this was kind of a main road, but it was a dirt road. Across that dirt road, this large flock of sheep, and different men would come there to take care of the sheep. Well, this Christmas morning, I'm watching. I've got my binoculars and I'm watching. I've got my machine gun. And every time they moved, my machine gun followed them. But I noticed something this Christmas morning that I hadn't yet noticed. Now, I had sheep when I was a young teenager. I was an FFA. I knew sheep, and they're as dumb as teenage boys, okay? They just don't get life. They do whatever they want to do. Particularly, they like to follow the crowd. And you can yell at them, you can flay your arms, and you can scream, and they're going to do their own thing. Kind of like Mike and the TV box thing, you know? Well, I noticed something this day. This guy who's out there with his sheep, he wasn't doing any of that. He was walking along. He had a staff in his hand. And you know what those sheep were doing? They were following him. And I realized on this Christmas morning, this guy wasn't a sheep herder. He was a shepherd. He knew his sheep. He cared for his sheep. He loved his sheep. I'd been scared. It was Christmas. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be home. I wanted to be with my kids. I was wet and I was miserable. It was the rainy season. Everything was cold. Everything was wet. We were covered in mud all the time. Our tents leaked. Everything was wet. But when I saw that shepherd leading and caring for his sheep, I realized there was another shepherd. A baby born as the Lamb of God, who became the shepherd of the world. And just like he did for me on that day, he can also do for you. He replaced my scaredness. He replaced my fear and my worry. Now, I was still cold and wet, but I was no longer scared. Because he blessed me with the gift of peace, of hope, of love, and of joy. Thank you.